Hello Geotech Masters! Welcome back to our comprehensive tutorial series on the Standard Penetration Test or SPT. I'm thrilled to have you here as we continue our journey through the test method. In our last video, we mastered the crucial steps of driving the SPT sampler and calculating that all-important end value, which is the sum of blows for the second and third 15 cm increments of penetration. We learned when to stop driving due to refusal conditions and how to handle situations where the sampler sinks under its own weight. Today, we are moving past the action of the hammer blows to what happens immediately after, which is just as vital as the integrity of your geotechnical investigation.
So, for today's video, we'll answer several key questions. What happens to the soil sample after we drive the sampler, and how do we ensure it's properly handled and identified? How do we make sure our precious soil samples are kept safe and sound for laboratory testing? What are the critical steps for properly closing up our borehole once all the testing is complete? And finally, what about cleaning up our equipment to prevent contamination, especially in environmental projects? Let's dive right in and uncover these essential post-sampling procedures. After successfully driving the sampler and determining the end value, the very next step is to retrieve the sampler and carefully open it. This is where we get our first look at the soil we've just sampled. It's an exciting moment in the field. Once the sampler is open, it's essential to record the percent recovery to the nearest 5%, or the length of the sample recovered to the nearest 0.025 m or better. This information gives us an immediate indication of how much soil we managed to collect relative to the length the sampler was driven. A good recovery rate is always desirable. Let's look at this table for some clear examples.